Hey everybody, Mrs. Bianchi. We're looking at number 11 and we're asked to find the area of this triangle. And the thing that people forget when they throw a bunch of numbers at you, you don't always use all of the numbers. So let's just write down the formula for a triangle, which is area equals half of the base times the height. When you're trying to find which number's the base and which number's the height, what I recommend you do is you want to look for that perpendicular symbol. And here it is. See right here? That's a right angle. Now, if it happens to be a right triangle, then the sides themselves, or what we'd call the legs of the right triangle, would form the base and the height. But when it's anything other than a right triangle, then you want to look for that symbol. So see, it's almost like arrows pointing at the numbers that you need. So what do we need? We need this number right here, which is 20. So we'll call that the base. And what's perpendicular to that? This dotted line is perpendicular to that. This dotted line right here forms a 90-degree angle to the green line. So that's 7. Let's substitute those numbers in, shall we? So we have area equals half of the base times the height. In this case, we said the base is 20 and the height is 7. We'll take half of 20. We can do that in our heads. That should be mental math. Half of 20 is 10. And then we'll finish up by multiplying that by 7. All right, now just a quick reminder for those that don't know how to take half of something. So there's two ways to do it. One way is to do the standard algorithm and do half times 20. And remember, 20 is the same thing as 20 over 1, or 20 divided by 1. So if you're going to do the standard algorithm to get this number right here, we could just go across and do 1 times 20 and get 20, or 2 times 1 to get 2, and then do 20 divided by 2 to get the 10. Or we can reduce ahead of time. If we reduce ahead of time, 2 is a factor of both of these numbers. And remember, it has to be between a numerator and a denominator when you're doing this. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 20 divided by 2 is 10. 1 times 10 would give us 10. And 1 times 1 would give us 1. And 10 divided by 1 would give us 10. So that's how we get this 10 for those that happen to be confused. Another thing that I want to remind you about, if you're a fan of using calculators, did you know that a half is equal to 5/10? Hopefully you know that from 5th grade. A half is equal to 5/10. So for any reason, you want to substitute in the 5/10 equivalent and just go across and use your calculator. That's okay. However, I just want to warn you, it's more buttons to press on your calculator, and you might make a mistake. You might forget to put in that decimal, or maybe you think you hit it and you didn't, and it ends up being 5 instead of 5/10, and you get the wrong answer. So that's something that I usually discourage. But if you're confused about the fraction component of it, that is an option. Now, the other option that you have is you can always take the base and the height and multiply them together. And if we did that, we would have gotten 140. And you could always divide that by 2, because remember, taking half of something is the same as dividing it by 2. So recall that the base and the height being multiplied together would be 140. And if we divided that by 2, we're still going to get the same answer that we get by doing this computation. All right, good luck finishing that up.